Hello there and welcome back to my channel, or if this is the first video of mine you are seeing, then welcome. Well, we are now in July, which is, wow, I can't believe we are already in July. But now it is time for me to clean out my previous everyday makeup drawer right here and pick out some new products. So let's start right quick with a recap. So just over here, I had a brow gel from Billion Dollar Beauty, I had a Versed loose setting powder, and a loose setting powder from Wet n Wild, which was the pink one. All of these are going to be taken out and I'm going to be picking something new. This Versed powder though, this is one that I had included in last month just so I can figure out if it was one that I wanted to keep. It does have this split pan where we have like more of a translucent and then one side was a little bit more pink, and then I just kind of mixed the two of them together. The first time I ever tried it, I felt like it was a little too dry, but if I go in with a small amount of it and kind of a more fluffier brush, I feel like it does work a little bit better. So it is one that I'm going to keep in my collection for now and just continue to use it in the future to see how I like it. But it is going to be staying in the collection for now. Then next up over here we had the Cali Ray. This is the Light Source Illuminator, the Refi Skin Tint, Natasha Denona Concealer, a corrector from Cali Ray, and then over here was an excess blush that I had that didn't fit in with the other blushes. This is the one from Glow Recipe. This is their, what is this? Watermelon Glow Niacinamide Dewy Flush. That just didn't fit with the other blushes, so I placed that one in this top part here. But I'm going to be taking all of these out, but I want to give a quick mention to the two of these right quick. This from Cali Ray is really, really beautiful on the skin. It's so lovely. It reminds me so much of my Say Glowy Super Gel, so if you are a fan of that, more than likely you would really love this one. I really enjoyed using it this past month, and I wanted to almost leave it in here, and I still might end up putting it back. Well, you'll see. I kind of have an idea of the primers that I want to pick for next time, so I might actually get an empty on one of them. So this might actually make an appearance again, but I do really like this, so I wanted to give it a quick little mention here. And then the Refi Skin Tint. This is one that I put in my June makeup drawer because I just wasn't quite sure how I felt about this, but I'm going to be honest, the more I used this, the more I really, really did enjoy it. It's the one where you pump out the product here, and it does sit up here if you want it to, but I just tilted it over and put the product on the back of my hand, and it worked much better that way. So I'm happy that I placed it in my acrylic drawers last month because I got some really good use out of it and quickly realized that I actually do and really enjoy it. But I am going to be removing it for this month. Okay, in here I keep all of my mascaras and my one little eyeliner pencil here, so that stays the same all the time. And then I had quite a drawer over here last time, and I did end up adding some things off camera like later on as I got them in, so let's quickly kind of discuss a few of these in here. We have the Sarah Creel cream bronzer. Last month I was definitely into cream bronzers. I wanted to try them all. This is one of my top favorites. We had the Refi cream bronzer, which if you watched my cream bronzer ranking video, you will have known where that kind of measured up to all of them. Scoot these out of the way just right quick so we can talk about the bronzers. I did have the Summer Fridays bronzer, cream bronzer as well in here. This is one that I actually am going to be leaving in this acrylic drawer for this month because, I don't know, I just want to leave this one in here and get more use out of it because I feel like I did wear the Refi one the majority of the time last month and the Sarah Creel, so I want to get some good use out of this one for this month. So I am going to be leaving the Summer Fridays one in. And then I also had the Westman Atelier. This is the Sun Tone Bronzing Creme, and this was in Soleil Parfait 1. This is the one that has the split pan, if I can get it open. It was much more of a moussey texture, but very, very lovely and pretty on the skin. Blends out really nice. So I'm going to be taking all of these cream bronzers out. And as for blush, I had quite a lot of blushes in here as well. I had two shades from the Summer Fridays Blush Butter Bombs. Now, one of them is new to me. This is the Soft Strawberry shade, which this one was one that I quite recently picked that up. So I'm going to be leaving this shade in this acrylic drawer for the month of July. And then for last month, I did have Toasted Terracotta. I'm kind of torn as to whether or not I want to leave this one in here because I don't know. I used it quite a lot last month. I don't know yet. I might consider leaving it in. So Just for now, I'm going to say I'm going to leave it in, but I might end up using Soft Strawberry more simply because that is a newer shade to me, but I really do like this formula, so I am going to leave this one in as well for now. And this is one that I keep in here at all times. This is my Iris and Romeo. This is the Ceramide Multi Balm in the shade Mood Boost. This was sent to me in PR, and it is one of my most top favorite. You can see how much use I've gotten out of this. This is one of my most top favorite blush sticks ever. I really enjoy this product. It is my go-to for on days where I just want a really quick, easy face of makeup. I know it's going to look really nice. It's going to blend out beautifully. So this one is going to be staying in here probably full time. Okay, and then I had a powder blush from Tower 28, which I don't think I used that, but maybe once if I even did that. Then I had one of the Tarte, oh, can't get that out, blush duos, and then one of the Charlotte Tilbury, her little split pan like with the heart compact. All of these are going to be taken out for this month, but they're all really nice blushes, but I felt like I didn't use them as much as I did the other ones. And then over here I had a bunch of lip products. We had a Fenty gloss, 2 shades of the Violette Bisou Balms. We had a Tower 28 lip plumper, a Say lip oil, CoverGirl lip gloss, and then I have all of my liners here. I'm just going to leave all of these liners in here full time because this is something that I just like reaching for all kinds of different formulas or shades. I don't really ever, you know, pick one to focus on, so I'm just going to leave this drawer like this with all of these in here. And then over here is where I keep a bunch of like my eyeshadow sticks, and these are technically highlighters from Wet n Wild, but I use them as single eyeshadows. So over here I have like liquid eyeshadows, eyeshadow sticks, single shadows. I'm just going to leave them in here all the time because I've been reaching for this way more than I have eyeshadow palettes, so I'm going to leave that be. But that is the recap, so on to picking out some new products. Okay, so we are now in my top drawer of this little filing cabinet. So let's start with the brow products, which I keep right here in this little container. So for brows, I think I want to go in with my brow pencil again. This is the last brow pencil that I have. This is from Kosas. This is their Brow Pop pencil, and I have been trying to use this every now and then just to get an empty on it and get it out of my collection, not because it is bad, but because I'm now more into a tinted brow gel that just does a one and done kind of step for me when it comes to the brows. So this is one that I'm going to be including for this month. And for a brow gel, I do have this one right here from Merit. Okay, now this is called, I believe this is the Brow 1980. The name is not on the packaging, but this is a tinted brow gel, and mine is in the shade dark brown, but this is not tinted enough. I feel like it is not enough to tint my brows. It is definitely something that I have to pair up with a pencil or something, or maybe even filling in my brows with an eyeshadow or something. I just cannot use this as a one and done step, and I wish that was different because it's a decent product, but it does not fill in my brows. It just kind of coats through them but doesn't fill in the sparse areas. So for that reason, I'm going to pair it up with this eyebrow pencil. Okay, and right next to it, I know it's hard to tell from this angle. Maybe if I kind of tilt you forward, you can see a little bit, but those are my primers. And well, I do have my MPH Beauty face palette in there. But for primers, I am going to pick, if I can get my hands on them, these 3 right here from Say, because if you can see, I have a lot of use on this shade and this one, and this is a little sample size that you can get with points on Sephora, so I feel like if I kind of use these, rotate them around enough, I might can get an empty on at least one of them. Maybe this shade. This is Warm Glow. This is Rose Glow, and then this is Star Glow. Star Glow and Warm Glow are my favorite for my skin tone. Rose Glow and I think the other one is called Sun Glow. Those are a little bit too deep for me, so I need to work that one out of my collection, but this is one of my most favorite primers of all time. I really love this primer. It's one that I always want in my collection, so I'm going to put all 3 of these shades in my July makeup drawer. And I have my foundation, skin tints, and everything right in here, so I think the first one that I want to use is this one from Merit. This is the Uniform Tinted Mineral Sunscreen, and mine is in the shade 30. I believe they did recently add some shades to this. Now, for me, it does, I know it's hard to show you because this reflects, it does look darker in the bottle than it actually is on my face, like on my actual skin. So don't let that fool you, because when I first looked at these in store, I was thinking, well, that shade is definitely not going to work for me, but it actually does. It is a really nice match. This is one that I really like, and I haven't used it in a while, so I'm going to be including this one for one of my skin tints. And the other skin tint I'm going to use is this one right here from CoverGirl. This is the Blurring Skin Tint. This one also has SPF 30 in it. What is the full name of this? Okay, no, that is, okay. Yeah, Blurring Skin Tint, and mine's in the shade Fair Warm. Now, when I purchased this, I did not realize that this has more of a matte finish. I am definitely not into matte skin on myself. I much prefer glowy, dewy, hydrating products because sometimes my skin can be a little too dry for products like this, but it's one that I want to use again. I don't remember the last time I used it, and because I have included the Say Glowy Super Gel, I might mix those in with this to kind of give me that glowy, lightweight finish that I love so much. So we'll see how that goes, and if I decide I don't really want this one, well then I will give you an update in next month's Everyday Makeup Drawer if I decide that I don't want to keep this in my collection. So I'm going to be including this one. And then for concealers and correctors, which I keep right in here, I think for one of my concealers, I'm going to include this one right here, because this one is much newer to me. This is from NYX. This is their Wonder Snatch Concealer, and mine is in the shade Fair. I love, love, love this lime green packaging. I've mentioned it before, and you wouldn't think it because I do much prefer neutral toned like eyeshadows and stuff, but I love an eyeshadow in this shade. There's something about a lime green or that kind of green eyeshadow that I really, really love. I don't know what it is about it, but it's stunning, and I love the color of this packaging. It's so, so pretty. This is a nice concealer. It's definitely another one that it can be a little drying. You definitely want to prep your skin before you go in with this one, but it is really lovely on the skin. It's very beautiful. But if you are much more into that matte finish, maybe more of like a natural matte kind of finish, you would probably really enjoy this one. Now, if you have very dry skin, I would say if it is something you want to try, make sure you are prepping your skin very well with nice hydrating products because it can be a little drying. I learned that the hard way. It is one that I definitely cannot use on my eyelids because it's too dry in that manner, but all over the face it's beautiful. So I'm going to include this one since it is newer to me. Okay, and then back here we have my powders, and then I have bronzers and highlighters, which are a mess. I've added so many cream bronzers to my collection and they are overflowing. Yes, I don't know what went wrong somewhere. I just wanted to try out a bunch of them. I really love cream bronzer more than ever lately. But first let's talk about powders. Now for my pressed powder, I'm going to try this one again from Say. This is their Slip Tint Undetectable Baked Setting Powder, and this one is in Translucent number 1, and it is like a baked powder. Now, I know when I've used this one time before, to me it was almost more like a finishing powder than an actual setting powder. So if you are into those kind of little more glowy finishing powders, you might really enjoy this one. I don't know, it's one that I kind of go back and forth on. Sometimes I don't really like the way it looks on my skin, but then other times it looks okay. So I'm going to be including it in this month's acrylic drawers just to kind of maybe finalize my thoughts on it completely this time and determine whether or not I want to keep it around, because I kind of have good and bad days with it. So let's see if I can focus on it for a month and how it'll go. And then I always include a loose setting powder, and I'm going to include one of these right here from Wet n Wild. And this is the collab that Wet n Wild had with My Melody and Kuromi. This is the Kuromi powder, which they called this one Moody Cutie. This is like a lilac-y setting powder that is filled with shimmer. I don't know if you'll be able, maybe you can tell right there in the cap. Can you see? It is filled with shimmer particles. It's really, really stunning. I know that's not going to be for everyone, but it is very, very just really beautiful and lightweight on the skin. And in the sun, like when you're in direct sunlight, it's just so pretty to look at. It's just one of those items that just makes a really just fun, I don't know, like a little just something subtle, something very subtle that's also very fun. I don't know. There's something about this one I really like. I also like the My Melody one as well, which is more of a pink powder, but they both have that shimmer in them. I know this was limited edition, so you can't get this one anymore, but honestly, you probably could add your own sparkles somehow to a regular setting powder if you wanted to. But I just think this is just so sweet, and I don't know. Something about it was fun. This whole collection they had was really fun. I tested out all of the My Melody stuff since she's pink, and I'm much more into pink. And that video was so much fun for me. That was a video I did last year, at the end of last year, and I had so much fun. So I definitely want to include this one. And then for my bronzers, now I did keep in the Summer Fridays, but I also want to use this one right here from Fenty Beauty because this one was much newer to me. This is the Sun Stalker Souffle Cream Bronzer in the shade Sugar Cookie, which this is the lightest shade. This is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful cream bronzer. It's one of those that it dries down to much more of a natural finish. It's definitely not a very glowy, balmy bronzer, so if you're not into those and you like more of the bronzers that dry down or the cream bronzers that dry down, you might really enjoy this one. It is so lovely on the skin, so easy to work with. It blends out beautifully, and the packaging on this is stunning. I just love the packaging, and since this is newer to me, I definitely want to get some good use out of it, so definitely going to be including this one. And then I want to include one of my bronzer sticks, so let's use this one right here from Anastasia Beverly Hills, and this one is in, okay, no, this is the Smooth Blur Contour, and this one is in the shade Half Tone, which I believe is the lightest shade. And even though it's meant to be like more of a contour, on me, this shade looks definitely like a neutral bronzer, which I like that. I'm not too much into the contour shades on myself. I just really can't ever make those gray tones work for me. That's more probably of a skill thing than anything else. But I love that this pulls more neutral on me. It is a very stunning shade. In fact, why don't I give you a little swatch so you can kind of see what I am talking about. It just looks much more neutral on my skin. It's definitely not a gray undertone, which I prefer that myself. Now, if you're looking for a more gray undertone, this one probably might not be one you would like. I don't know. I know that would depend on your undertone as well, but I really love this. It's beautiful on the skin, and I haven't gotten enough good use out of this because I have been much more into the cream bronzers in the compacts, so let's include this one for my other cream bronzer choice. Okay, and just right quick, I'm going to go ahead and show you my blush picks aside from the Iris and Romeo blush stick and the Summer Fridays ones. I have a mess right in front of the dresser that holds all of my blushes because I'm actually getting some things up to donate quite soon, like clothing and stuff. So I have a mess. I cannot get my tripod over there, so I'm going to go ahead and show you my blushes here. The first one here is from Kosas. This is their new, what is this called? I don't know what the full name is, and it is not on this stick anywhere, but it is in the shade Intuition. It is their new, like, Impressionist multi-stick or something. I will put the full name up here on the screen for you because it's not on the packaging, but this is the shade Intuition. And I have a little bit of an issue getting these open. It's kind of hard to open, and this is the shade Intuition, and you can wear this on your cheeks and your lips, and it actually is very, very pretty on the lips. It's much more of like that balmy, nice feeling on the lips. It doesn't really feel too dry. I know some of these products like this, they can feel too dry for the lips, but I actually felt like this one works very well, both on the cheeks and the lips, and this is the newest blush in my collection, so I definitely want to get some good use out of this one, so I'm going to be including this. Then I haven't used one of these in a while. This is from Makeup by Mario. This is the Jelly Jar Lip and Cheek Balm, and this one is in the shade Pink Sugar. These are the ones that have that kind of bouncy kind of texture, if you can see. Let me see if I can get you a little bit of a swatch. These are some that you have to build up the pigment because they're very, very balmy. They don't really dry down, so if you are not into that formula, then you would probably not like these, but I really did like them. They are limited edition, so at the time I'm filming this, I am unsure if they are still available, but I wish he would keep them around because they're everything I love. They're lightweight, they're very, very glowy and dewy on the skin. They just give you that wet highlighter effect almost. Just really, really beautiful. So I'm going to be including this one. And last but not least, I'm going to include this powder blush from Tower 28. This is their Get Set blush in the shade Long Beach Iced Tea. This is a beautiful, just neutral tone, perfect for every day. It goes with any makeup look or any outfit if you like to match your makeup to your outfits. And there is the swatch of that one right there. So I think we have a nice little assortment here of tones. Plus, I do have the two shades from Summer Fridays and the Iris and Romeo blush stick as well. So I'm going to be including all of these blushes. I think that would give me a nice little assortment to use. So now that I have showed you those, let's move to my lower drawer where I keep all of my lip products. Okay, so let's start over here where I keep my lip liners. And what I'm going to do, I have this whole container here filled with lip liners. I'm going to take out all of the rest of the wooden lip pencils, so let me grab those all right quick. Okay, and there we have one shade, a shade of Makeup by Mario, from Lawless, Say, LA Girl, NYX, well, 2 from NYX, and then another Makeup by Mario one. I'm going to be including these where I keep all of my other lip liners because wooden lip pencils are my favorite. I get the most use out of them, so I want to go ahead and move all of these to that acrylic drawer so I can just get some good use out of these as well. Now in these 3 little containers here, I have lip balms, lip glosses, and lip oils. So for lip balms, let me grab, I see one right here from Ole Henriksen that I want to use. Okay, actually, I also saw this one right here from Supergoop, which is, okay, first and foremost, we have the Ole Henriksen. This is the Pout Preserve Peptide Lip Treatment in Vanilla Bonbon, which is like a clear. Then we have the Supergoop Glow Gloss SPF 40 in Vanilla Soft Serve, which is basically like a clear with just a hint of pink, but it's basically like a clear. Both of these are clear, and I did add the charms myself to that one. I really like both of these. I love lip balms and lip oils. Those are my favorite. Oh, I like lip glosses too, but I feel like I like lip balms and lip oils much better than I even do glosses, which is strange, but I do. But I don't believe I've used either of these in a while, so let's include these for lip balm. Okay, and then for lip oils, which I keep over here, I see 2 right beside each other that I'm going to use. Okay, so we have the Say Glossy Bounce Lip Oil in the shade Bubble, and then we have a Milani Fruit Fetish Lip Oil in the shade Luminoso. So let me swatch these for you right quick. So there we have Bubble from Say and Luminoso from Milani. I think both of these will be really, really pretty for the summertime, so let's include both of these. And then I keep lip glosses here, and over here are lipsticks. I just haven't really been into the lipsticks lately, so let's pick out a few lip glosses here. I see one kind of up at the front. Let me grab. Okay, so this is one from Fenty Beauty. This is one of the gloss bombs, and this one is in the shade Fussy. This is a little sample size that you could get with points from Sephora. I like sometimes using my points to get these little samples sometimes. And this is the shade Fussy, which is very, very pretty. I like the way these smell. They have like a nice pleasant scent. Okay, and then I have these 2 shades here from Light Slacker, which is Kathleen Lights. This is her nail polish brand, but she did have glosses at one point. She had 3 of them, but I believe she discontinued them, unfortunately, which is sad because I love them. I have the shade Alyssa here and Das Expensive. I do also have the shade Miss Honey, but that is one that I'm currently working on getting an empty, so it just stays in my bathroom or my purse all the time. I've actually about got an empty on that one. That one would be my favorite of the 3, but let me swatch these 2 for you. I really did like these, and I'm sad that she has discontinued them. So there we have Alyssa and Das Expensive, which is a clear with some really fine sparkle in it. I don't know if you'll be able to pick that up in the swatch, but I really like this formula, so I'm sad to see that it's gone. I don't know if she has any left on her website. I think that they had like a big sale to get the rest of the stock out, I believe. I will, of course, double check, but that makes me sad that you can't get them because they are nice. I really like them. They had a nice vanilla kind of cupcake scent, so I'm going to be including these. And the last lip gloss I'm going to use is this one from ColourPop. This is the Ultra Glossy Lip in the shade To Die For, which was part of their Valentine's Day one, so I don't know if this one is still available or not. It has the cute little heart on the top. Let me swatch this one right quick for you. Okay, and it's definitely like that pinky clear, but look at all the sparkle in that. That is so lovely. That is so pretty. I love that. I love this arrangement here of lip balms and lip glosses, lip oils. This is just the type of stuff that I want to go for, more so than lipsticks. Lipsticks are really nice, but I'm definitely more into these, especially for these really hot months. I just want something like this that I can just keep, you know, applying to my lips and keep them nice, hydrated kind of thing. So these are all the lip products I'm going to be including. And that is everything. That's all the products picked out. So let's go ahead and put them all back into my acrylic drawers. Okay, I'm first going to start out with the Say Glowy Super Gel. This one is in the shade Warm Glow. I don't really need any more glow because I'm wearing a very glowy sunscreen, if you can see here. This is the one from Supergoop, the Play. I think it's like the Everyday Play SPF lotion. I think they call it lotion. But it's for your face and your body, but it is very, very glowy. But I want to try to use up these Say products because I feel like if I was to use these at least every single day, I might can have empties on a few of them, even though that does kind of make me sad a little bit because it is my favorite primer ever. But I do have the one from Cali Ray, which is very, very similar to these. But if you can see right here, that's how much I have left of the shade Warm Glow, so I feel like if I use it consistently this month, I can definitely get an empty. Okay, for my skin tint, I'm going in with the Merit The Uniform Tinted Mineral Sunscreen, and this one is in the shade 30. They do have more shades in this now, so if the initial shade range was not the best, maybe look to see if they have a shade for you now. At the time, I want to say this was the lightest shade, but I believe they have a shade even lighter than this. This is a really lovely product, and you can apply this with your hands too if you want because it's very thin, it's very, very lightweight. Then I'm going to take a Makeup by Mario F4L, which is from his travel size brush kit, and let's just start blending that in. This is a really, really lovely skin tint. Very nice and hydrating on the skin, which is exactly what I am looking for. And not to mention, I do want to give a quick little update here. In case you missed the video that I had go up where I was testing out some new makeup from Sephora, I mentioned in that video that I had some issues with one of the shades of the Ilia eyeshadow sticks, the shade Jubilee, and the Danessa Myricks eyeshadow stick, which was in Duo 4. I have since used both of them again and have had no issues at all. Oh, and the deepest shade of the Duo from Danessa Myricks I can absolutely use as liner, and it looks really pretty that way, which is the way I've been wearing it. But I figured out that the NYX concealer that I was using was too dry for my eyelids. That was causing, I guess, a weird texture on my lids because it was just too dry. And once I used my regular serum concealers, my more hydrating concealers, I didn't have any more issues with either of those eyeshadow sticks. So I wanted to give a quick update there, so I am very happy to see that. Because I didn't understand, especially the Ilia one, because I had 3 other shades that were always so beautiful in the eyes. And I figured out that was the problem. So I'm glad to have a happy ending on that. Especially for the Ilia eyeshadow sticks, because the other 3 shades are absolutely spectacular, but I have had no more issues with the shade Jubilee, and I'm actually going to be wearing it in today's video as well. You can see just how pretty this is on the skin. It's very nice and lightweight. So pretty. I love stuff like this. I love tinted sunscreens, skin tints, lightweight stuff that's just nice and hydrating because, I don't know, sometimes my skin can be a little too dry. So I try to avoid more mattifying products, even though some of them are good. Like the NYX concealer with the lime green packaging, it's beautiful as long as you are prepping your skin with some hydrating products. If you are more, like if you don't have oily skin, I would say definitely prep really well. Okay, for my bronzer, I'm going in with the ABH Smooth Blur Contour Stick, and this one is in the shade Halftone. I'm just going to use that same Mario brush, and I want to apply it on my hand, or okay, let's try it on my hand first. Sometimes it works better one way or the other, but I place it on the back of my hand, and there is that shade right there. And let's just pick it up with this brush. And if I have to, I can draw it on my face. It's not a big deal. Oh, I forgot to go in with concealer. Okay, let me stop right there. Also, when I was editing back part 1 of this video where I was picking out new products, I realized that the entire footage where I was picking out a second concealer and a corrector went missing, or I didn't record properly. I'm not exactly sure what happened. So I did also pick these 2, the Cali Ray Hideaway Corrector in Cool Sunrise, and then I picked the NYX Bear With Me Serum Concealer in the shade Light. I don't know what happened to the footage, but I did also pick these alongside the other NYX concealer. So I want to use these right quick. I'm just going to mix the 2 of them together. Just do a little dot of this. Cool Sunrise is actually just too deep for me. I'm not exactly sure why I bought this shade in the first place. Pale Sun is a much better shade match for me, but it is my favorite corrector ever, so the shade still works. Now I'm just going to take the teeniest dot of this NYX concealer. I'm talking like, can you see how little that is? Because this is very pigmented, like really, really pigmented. So just the tiniest dot will do. And I'm just going to mix those two together. Can't believe I forgot this step. Now, if somebody was to ask me if I like this NYX concealer or I think the other one's Wonder Snatch and the lime green thing, like which one I like better, I would say this one, only because this is much more of the style of makeup I like, the very glowy, serum-y kind of stuff, but the other concealer from NYX is really beautiful as well. It just kind of depends on your preference and like your skin type as to which one you would like better. Okay, now we can go back in with the ABH, and I'm just going to draw this on my skin because I feel like, why not? Go back into that Mario brush and blend that out, and I am going to take that on the eyelid as well because I have not been using eyeshadow. I don't know, I can't really be bothered with eyeshadow right now. I much prefer an eyeshadow stick and then maybe topping it off with something sparkly. Well, I guess that technically would be an eyeshadow. But you know what I mean. I should say palettes. I have not really been interested in using eyeshadow palettes. I just like single shadows right now. I might keep it softer today because I believe I'm going in with two different blushes, like a cream and then a powder, because the powder one I haven't used in a while, but I really just love cream blushes, so I want to use both. And this just blends out so easily. It's so pretty on the skin. Okay, and then next I'm going in with the Iris and Romeo Ceramide Multi Balm, and this one is in the shade Mood Boost. I love this. This was sent to me in PR, but I would buy it myself. I love it that much. This shade is everything for me because it is like my perfect pinky peachy everyday kind of shade. That is what that looks like, but I've mentioned many times before, it has a very strong scent, not a fragrance. It's mango butter. This is the Makeup by Mario F4S. There is mango butter in the ingredients, so that you can definitely smell that. And like I said, it's not an added fragrance, it's just that, but it's definitely there. It's definitely noticeable. So if you don't like that, probably wouldn't be into this because it is very much there. I might just add this in on my cheeks, actually. Just dot it. But it is one of my most favorite blushes. You can wear this one on the lips as well. I just like to wear it as a blush stick. I don't really ever wear it on the lips. Yeah, I'm also going to take that on the lid as well. I like to add cream blush and bronzer onto my lid. That's where I haven't been that into eyeshadow, so that just kind of helps add a little something to my lid. So when I go in with my eyeshadow stick, it's not just the eyeshadow stick. It doesn't have to be too pigmented because I am about to go in with a powder blush, but I just wanted to place this down first so I can just use it again because I do really love it. For some setting powder, I'm initially going to start with this Wet n Wild and Kuromi powder. This is Moody Cutie. This is the more lilac-y powder. I do want to go ahead and set. And this brush right here is from Versed. I am not exactly sure the full name of this. I think it's the Perfector. I might be wrong. There's this one, and then the other one I think is called the Diffuser. Everything will be listed and linked for you below, but I'm going to be using this smaller side and dip a little bit into that powder and then press some of that into the cap. This is a shimmer powder, so you are going to see little shimmer particles everywhere. Yeah, like you can definitely see the shimmer. I'm going to be careful not to get that on my actual lid because I haven't gone in with my eyeshadow sticks yet. I should have went in with that first and then did this, but it's okay. Yeah, you can just see the pretty little fine sparkles, but they're like very fine. I don't think my camera could ever pick them up on my face because they're not like, it's not chunky. It's not chunky sparkle or anything like that. It's just very subtle. I mean, it's there. You can definitely see it if you hold a mirror up, but it's not like really chunky sparkles. It's much more softer than that. Very fine sparkle. And then for some lip prep, I'm going in with the Ole Henriksen Pout Preserve Peptide Lip Treatment in Vanilla Bonbon. This is just like a clear, and it smells really nice. Next, I'm going to go into the Kosas Brow Pop Pencil, and mine is in the shade Dark Brown. It's been a while since I've used a pencil, I feel like. I'm going to go ahead and fill in my brows before I move on to the eyeshadow. Now, don't get me wrong, this is a very good brow pencil, and if you are looking for a nice one, this one is really good. I do really like it. I'm just more into a one and done brow look now, just using a tinted brow gel that does everything. But if you are more into a pencil, like an eyebrow pencil, this one is very good. And then over the top of that, I'm going to take the Merit, I think this is called the 1980 brow. Mine is in dark brown, which this is not enough pigment for me personally. This doesn't really fill in my brows or anything. If it did that, it would probably be one I'd really enjoy, but because it does next to nothing as far as filling them in, it's a no for me. But if you use a pencil and then you'd like a nice brow gel afterwards, you might enjoy it. But if you're looking for a one and done kind of step, I don't personally think this is the one. It's not tinted enough, in my opinion. My favorite is the Iris and Romeo brow gel. That one is perfect in every way for me and what I'm looking for. Okay, before I move on to the powder blush, because I don't want to accidentally take the powder onto my eyelids, I'm going to go into the Ilia. This is the Eye Stylish Shadow Stick, and this is Jubilee. I'm going to apply that first. I do have something I'm going to put over the top of it though, but we're first going to apply this. Ugh, so much better now that I'm using a hydrating concealer, so much better. The difference is unreal. It just glides so smoothly. So I am so happy that this now works for me because, oh, I was so disappointed initially and I couldn't figure out what the problem was. It was that concealer, way too dry. Because now this just glides just as nice as my 3 other shades that I have, which I love all 3 of them. That makes me so happy. I'm so glad that now it's good because I just couldn't understand it. And now I know, and thank goodness. So I can say I love this one just as much as the other 3. Honestly, if somebody told me that I had to start my entire makeup collection over, I might just have a bunch of these Ilia eyeshadow sticks and not even buy eyeshadow palettes. I can't believe I'm saying that. I cannot believe I'm saying that because I used not to like eyeshadow sticks, but I honestly think right now at this very second, if I had to rebuild a collection, I would only have these. I'd probably have every shade. Well, I don't know. They do have, you know what? I was right. Every shade. But I want to place something over the top of this because I haven't used this one in a while. This is from ColourPop. This is their Super Shock Shadow in the shade Flower Child. I don't know if Flower Child is limited edition shade or if you can still buy this. I'm not sure, but it's so, so pretty. I'm going to take some of this and apply this right over the top of Jubilee. Just to add a little something something in because I love using these eyeshadow sticks as a base for more shimmer shades or just shades in general like this because I just think it makes them pop even more. And I'm just tapping that over that eyeshadow stick. Just tap, tap, tap. Not really like swiping this way, just tapping. Okay, I just kept building that up to get that kind of pigment. It's so pretty. Okay, and I think I'm going to apply a little bit of liner, my Makeup by Mario eyeliner in the Perfect Brown. And I might use, okay, I don't know if I want to use my Tower 28 mascara or my Cali Ray, but I'm going to do both of those off camera right quick and I'll be right back. Okay, so I did go in with the Tower 28 Make Waves mascara, but I used the shade Jet, which is their black shade instead of the brown. I realize I've been using the brown a lot more. And then for my liner, I went in with the Makeup by Mario. This is the Master Pigment Pro Eye Pencil in the Perfect Brown. I put that on the upper lash line, and I also placed it out here on the outer half of my lower lash line, and then on the inner half, I placed the Jubilee shade from Ilia, and that is all I've done so far. Now for my powder blush, I'm going to go into the Tower 28 Get Set Long Beach Iced Tea Blush. This is just a nice, really pretty neutral shade. And I'm going to take this side of the burst brush that I was using earlier for the powder, just tap into that and press off the excess into that cap. And I won't too much since I do have another blush on, but I just thought it'd be nice just to add this one in. I have not been using powder blushes that much, so I just wanted to add a little something in. Okay, now there's just the Iris and Romeo. And this is with the Tower 28 over the top. Okay, and I really wipe that brush off of any blush. And now I'm going to go into the Say Slip Tint Undetectable Bake Setting Powder, and this is in Translucent 1. And I'm just going to try this. I know I've already used some powder, but I'm just going to attempt to use this. And let's just see what it does. Because, I mean, I have good and bad experiences with this, so let's just see. I was just going to try to use it as more of a finishing powder instead of an actual setting powder. And kind of just go around that blush a little bit. I guess it looks a little bit more. Now, it's not going to mattify. This is not that kind of powder. But I guess it made things look a little more perfected. Like maybe a little more smooth. But it's definitely not going to matte. It's definitely not going to matte. It's not going to mattify your face. This is not that type of setting powder. Of course, I know that that is not Say's thing. This is very much a glowy, dewy, like skin kind of focused brand. So I don't expect it to mattify, but I just thought maybe using it as a finishing powder would be nicer. I do think it looks quite pretty. It is glowy, of course, but I mean, I like the glow. I know that's not for everybody. There's nothing else on this brush. I'm just kind of lightly going around powder blush just a little bit. That's pretty. I like that. It does look, but now I don't know if it's this powder or just a combination of both powders. It does look a little cakey right there. Yeah, it does look a little cakey there, but I'm not sure if it's just because it was these two powders mixed. But I'm not seeing that over here. So I don't know. I don't know. That's one I'll keep testing that one out. Okay, now for the lips, I still have some lip balm on, so let me get that off first. And I'm going to go into the Tower 28 one liner in the shade Draw Me. This is a little bit of a deeper liner for me, but I'm going to try to sheer it out with like my fingers. So I'm just going to take a little bit like that. Yeah, something like that. That's good. That kind of soft lived in liner look. I did that the other day with the shade Cowboy from Merit, and I really like the way it looks, so it worked with this too. And then over the top, I'm going to wear the Milani Fruit Fetish Luminoso Lip Oil right here in the center. Okay, but here is this completed makeup look. I think it's really pretty. I love how the eyes just look so, like, can you kind of see how it looks? I love that effect. That I just feel like the Ilia eyeshadow sticks give you that effect on their own, but then when you place like a sparkly shade or something over the top, it just makes it look so metallic and just like a wet eyeshadow look. Really love that. But yeah, I think this look turned out pretty good, and I am just so happy that that Ilia eyeshadow stick works well for me now. Figured out what the issue was, haven't had any more problems since figuring it out, and the same goes for that Danessa Myricks eyeshadow stick as well. It was the concealer for that one too, so I'm really, really happy that I figured that out. But I do hope that you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, I hope you will please consider leaving a like, a comment, or subscribing if you haven't already. And make sure you hit the bell icon so you are alerted to all my future uploads, and follow me on Instagram at jessicadeerly. All of these products will be listed and linked for you below, as well as in the YouTube shopping tag feature, and if you click through and purchase, I do earn a small commission, and if you choose to do so, thank you so much for supporting me and my channel, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!